Good morning. I just wanted to make an intra-week breakdown. Of course, as typical, as usual, we start with the daily chart. If you all remember, the last we talked, I was saying that I was looking at this buy-side liquidity on the daily, but I did not expect this much expansion to the upside, because initially I wanted to see if we could break down first into a discount, this buy-side imbalance, before shooting higher. But price has been in a rush to get to the target, the first target, which is this buy-side liquidity, and of course the next one that I highlighted was this buy-side liquidity, remembering that I wanted to see if we could tag this high, but on a weekly chart this was not a swing high. On a daily it is technically considered the next buy-side objective. So going into the rest of the week, today being Wednesday, we don't have any news reports, don't have any data, any major events that may throw off our projection. So of course we're looking for higher prices still on the dollar until or unless we get a market structure shift to the downside on a daily chart. So far we don't have that, and I'm still bullish. So starting with the daily, we can see we have this buy-side imbalance. This specific one that's annotated here is actually from the 1 hour chart, which will go down in a moment. But we have this buy-side imbalance on a 1 hour that we barely touched and started rallying up. I want to believe that many people are going to try and call this a double top at this area and try to sell. And I believe many people right now are trying to force the dollar to the downside. Personally, I am not going to be doing that. I'll remain bullish until or unless proven otherwise. So I'm looking to see if these bullish PDRAs can support higher prices. We may not come back to this level, and we'll rather just probably just do an immediate rebalance. An immediate rebalance is when we are about to create a fair value gap, but instead of continuing up from here, price may come back down and then continue up. So essentially making this so-called fair value gap not possible to not form. So we might get the low of today being at the top of this wick or anywhere inside of this candle, but I would like to see us close this fair value gap that's forming right now and then continue rallying up. So that's what I'm looking for going into the rest of the week. Before we do continue going down, I wanted to go back to the monthly chart and continue and focus again on a higher time frame. So on a higher time frame, we are definitely inside of the monthly sell side imbalance. We are not yet at the consequent encroachment, which is this point, and this consequent encroachment is still above this buy side liquidity that we highlighted from a daily chart. So I'm looking to see if we can tag this next, and while we're here, let's measure the quadrants. So we have this level as a 25% area, which is the 108.806, the 25% area of this sell side imbalance. And then of course we have this buy side liquidity before the 50%. So paying attention to the 25% of the area and the buy side liquidity. I would prefer that we get to this buy side liquidity by Thursday, tomorrow, or Friday before New York session, because I expect a Friday to have a little bit of a reversal, so that this candle, this monthly candle, may have a wick instead of closing flat. because the possibility of this happening on a high time frame is very slim. For example, there we have a very tiny tail. It's there, but it's very tiny. So I don't want something like this. I would like to see a proper tail like this, or like this, or like this. Of course, we also have this type of candle where we just open and continue rallying with a very tiny drawdown. I don't think we'll be creating that this month unless we are very bullish. If we do create a flat top on this candle, on this monthly candle, then I expect very high, much higher prices going into next month. So I would expect us to tag into the higher 50% area from the consequent encroachment to the top section of it. So I'm expecting higher prices if we do print to the flat top, and then a reversal from November 15th. Of course, I've covered that on my seasonal tendency video. So going down to the 1 hour chart, as I said, we will. This is the 1 hour buy side imbalance that I just stretched out from the daily, but this was the buy side imbalance that I was hoping that we get tagged into before rallying up. But you can see that we just came very shy of it, like very shy. So looking at the top section here, this candlestick's low is 105.864. This candlestick's low is 105.863. So we were one pip, one handle, one tick away. Not one handle, one pip, whatever this is measured in, but one pip away from actually tagging into the buy side imbalance. But this may also be classified as a breakaway gap, a measuring gap, where we probably will just leave this buy side imbalance open, especially if we are in such a rush to get to the buy side liquidity that we highlighted from a higher time frame. So going from today, I'm looking at this inversion fair value gap, which is at yesterday's midnight price, and I'm also looking at this buy side imbalance, residing here on a 1 hour. Of course, if price breaks lower, then we may look for a deeper discount to take it higher. But I'm looking at these two levels going from today. So going to the best, the closest correlated pair, we can see, remembering that we just pointed out yesterday's midnight price having an inversion fair value gap over there. The yellow line is the midnight price. So yesterday around midnight price we have an inversion fair value gap. On EURUSD, I don't believe we have that. We don't have we have this higher inversion fair value gap, which is also fine, but it is around the midnight price, which is fine. But specifically today, I am looking at this 4 hour CB. It's 4 hour sell side imbalance. I'm looking to see if we can tag into it, then continue going down. But if we do continue higher, then we might tag into this order block, this bearish order block, because there's a change in the state of delivery, as I highlighted in my previous videos. Stating a change in the state of delivery, where we took out this low and we closed below this swing low. So we have a swing low there, and we can see that we closed below it. So we closed below it. So to me, this is a market structure shift. This is a valid order block. And at this point, if we go higher than this sell side imbalance, we may tag into this order block from the 4 hour and continue displacing lower. As I said, the order block, keeping in mind, it's over there on top of the CB, which is these candles. I wouldn't mind us tagging into that, because that's also where the inversion fair value gap that I highlighted is resided. So We have this inversion, which is also by the order block on a 1 hour chart. On a 4 hour chart, we have this sell side imbalance. On a 5 minutes chart, I highlighted the Asia session high and New York PM high. So New York PM is over there, and I'm looking to see if we can take out these 2 sessions high, the previous 2 sessions high, and displace lower going into New York, which is all I'm looking for today. GBPUSD, even though GBPUSD is the weaker of the 2, I don't have a clear enough PDRA from a higher time frame like a 1 hour or a 4 hour that I'll be able to enter confidently. Of course, there was this one on a 1 hour, but this was yesterday during the New York session, during lunchtime actually, and I did not see it because during New York session I'm focusing on the indices. On a 4 hour chart, I don't really have anything solid here. I can't be looking at this order block. If we do trade all the way back here, then I will take it down, but I don't think we'll be trading all the way up there again. And we are close to filling this daily buy side imbalance, which is this whole shaded area. You can see it's this buy side imbalance, and it's below the tailless candles that I said were my targets for the week. So yes, the pound has been extremely bearish. As you can see from my previous arrows, I was expecting us to trade into this sell side imbalance before trading lower, but we didn't. It just opened up and continued falling off. Looking at the 1 hour chart, we can easily see the days of the week up here: Friday, Monday, Tuesday. So we can see Monday so far has created the high of the week. We literally opened up at midnight and then had a bit of a retracement into this imbalance at 6 a.m. and that was it. If you had missed this entry, that was the last solid entry you could get. And then going into Tuesday, yesterday, we didn't even come back into this sell side imbalance, and we just continued melting off. We chopped around a lot at this point until New York lunchtime, but we are gradually trading lower. So pound has been extremely bearish, but not giving any solid entry for me at the moment. So even though I would have preferred selling the pound, I don't see where I could have been selling the pound from, especially when we were in this choppy range. The NASDAQ, apologies for the message chart, but this is an intra-week update, so I have a lot going on at the same time. On the NASDAQ, we are close to hitting the equal lows, the relative equal lows, and the buy side imbalance. You can see at that point we haven't tagged it yet. Let's enable the crosshair so it's easy to see. So these are the equal lows. Looking to the right, we can see we haven't tagged it yet. So these are my targets for the week, and this imbalance, making it visible. This is what I'm aiming for. Right now we did trade into the 3-day volume imbalance. That's what the 3D means. So we have this volume imbalance, which I believe is a new day opening gap, or a new week opening gap actually. Yeah, we traded into it last night, but we haven't traded to the sell side liquidity and basically the relative equal lows on the daily chart and this imbalance. Similar structure on ES, on S&P 500. Again, apologies for the dirty charts, but it's a trading week, so it's a bit difficult to keep everything as tidy as possible for these presentations because I'm constantly on the charts. So ignoring all these drawings, we can see on ES we have definitely tagged into this buy side imbalance. Even on a daily chart, we were aiming for this buy side imbalance. We tagged into it. We have this smaller buy side imbalance residing over there, from this candlestick's high to this candlestick's low. We have a very tiny fair value gap in the form of a buy side imbalance. When you look to the right, we can see that was where I was targeting on my last video. Following the crosshair to the right, we can see that we nearly filled it up, but we didn't. We were not able to fill up this buy side imbalance. And now that we are retracing, I don't expect too much of a retracement into the weekly range. And going to the hourly chart, we can see that these are all illustrations from my latest video, so I apologize for the mess. Going to the hourly chart, we can see that we have been respecting PDRAs. We've been expecting bearish PDRAs. Yes, I am aware that we did not close the open range gap from yesterday, so let's switch to regular trading hours. We can see the open range gap is open, still open. We barely traded into it. We did not even trade into the consequent encroachment of it, keeping in mind that the consequent encroachment is essentially the fill of this purple area, which is the 4361.5, and then the high of it is 4381. So switching back to electronic trading hours, we have 4361.5 being the high here, which is essentially Tuesday's high, and then 4381, which is over here, Monday's high. So for us to fill up the open range gap from yesterday, we would have to trade all the way back to clearing yesterday's high and Monday's high, essentially creating the high of the week today before falling off. But I don't think we'll go that high up. I think we might just clear Tuesday's high and then continue falling off from there. Of course, we'll see what the price action is like later in New York session. Actually, after London session, we should be able to see some level of direction, but I don't want to see a deeper retracement. I don't want to see too much of a premium. We might not even get back into this area that I wanted to sell from, the daily sell side imbalance. So that's especially if we're extremely bearish. I would like to see us just tank off from here, but we'll see what the day has for us, especially when we have no events today. I'm not really excited about predicting, but I'm waiting to see the data first before knowing the direction. For now, that's all I have for gold traders. As someone asked me over the weekend to create a video on gold, and I saw us possibly going into this area, well, not that area, into this area, this inefficiency, before falling off. But of course, they didn't give us any premium price to sell off. They just continued melting off from there, similar to what EURUSD is doing. If I was to say where I'm thinking or looking to sell gold from here, of course, our target being the sell side liquidity, I'll look for bearish PDRAs from the 1 hour chart. Of course, at this point, we can see that we tapped into this as an IOFED, which is an institutional order flow entry drill. So we tapped into that, rejected. We may not have to ever come back to it again, and we might use this order block, which is just above the midnight price. So if I was to say what I would look for on gold, I would say as soon as we tap above the midnight price, I'll be looking to sell, but I'm not going to sell gold right now. My stop loss, of course, being on the high that we are taking the order block from. So that will be my stop loss, and the target being the sell side liquidity that we highlighted just now. So this is what I would have as a trade idea for gold. Of course, I'm not trading it personally, but this is what I would like to see. So let's just see how this pans out in a in a couple hours, I guess. We might just continue falling off if we are in that much of a rush to get to the target. I don't have anything else on Australian dollar. I'm looking at these equal lows residing there to complete the market maker sell model. The initial consolidation, more expansion, peak, displacement, retracement, and continuation to the initial consolidation point. So that's all I'm looking for on Australian dollar. And USDCAD as well, I gave out this view, this breaker, and we traded. The bodies are still well inside of it. We came back again on Monday, and now we are rallying off. So at this point I would have moved my stop loss to break even, but I wasn't too excited to enter the trade when we were here, because this was when the market has closed for the day on Monday, and I wasn't too excited about entering at that point. But we can see price came there beautifully and rejected in a day, expanding this much. So yeah, but that's all I have for now. Good luck and good trading.